bases in the region. It reflects to me that the U.S.
Hi
administration
everyone, I'm
knows
live.
that technology is
I just
extremely
got to get this out
unpopular
there and talk
in
about it.
America, including
What
among
you hear in the
important segments of
background
the
is
Trump
a
administration's
news
base.
podcast I
And
regularly
if they
listen
start taking
to
casualties, which is quite likely if we're
called
fighting a
Breaking
war with
Points,
Iran, people will be livid. They won't
although it's
actually
not very
accept or
good
understand it.
right now.
People want out of the Middle
Like, I
East, not more
want
wars in
better
the Middle East.
information. Let's see what I could find. This guy's a clown. What is this? There's a lot of bullshit news on YouTube.
And we will know and see what's the next stages.
Israel strikes Iran, dozens of nuclear sites hit.
So
Nation braces for
negotiations
massive missile
against
barrage.
Iran failed,
So,
and now Israel
this is where we
is
are.
taking action and using its air force to destroy the military installations, the
Iran
nuclear
sucks,
leadership
we
of the
shouldn't be
Iranian
doing this.
nuclear program, and
I'm saying
we are
because US is
striking
basically
precisely
involved.
in key areas in the heart of Tehran, in the surrounding areas of the capital
Oh, this is
of
bad.
the
This is
Iranian
really bad.
country, and these strikes are meant to terminate the threat against Israel, threats that they've been speaking out loud on multiple podiums around the international media. And when an enemy like Iran has the capability and is threatening Israel, and also funded and carried out direct strikes against us just in the past 12 months, Israel took this very seriously and carried out a preemptive strike against the military installations of Iran. And guys, if you're just joining me now, Israel struck and is striking Iran multiple times. We have reports of already 6 waves of aerial strikes against military installations in Iran. We are coming to you live now from Jerusalem, and behind me you can see the city of Jerusalem. You can also see Judea and Samaria. And this is the situation now. The time here in Israel is 5:30 a.m. The sun is just going up, and we are awake and from 3 a.m. In the middle of the night when we were called to bomb shelters, preparing for an Iranian response to unprecedented Israeli strikes against military installations.
This is like, I'm legitimately frightened, Nishi.
So the strikes are still ongoing as I am speaking.
I have a family now and kids.
And we have reports of 270 missiles that were struck and hit Iranian targets all across the country of Iran. And Iran is now preparing for a tough response against Israel. Iran will launch massive attacks on Israel in the next few hours. This is according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps. And we have additional information of that another nuclear scientist and head of the nuclear regime was attacked in this strike. So the targets are very clear. Military installations, military sites that can carry attacks against Israel, including nuclear facilities and nuclear personnel. So the goal of this attack is to terminate the nuclear and the missile threat that Iran posed on Israel. And we are receiving more and more reports of successful hits and terminations of these key Iranian personnel. What Israel is doing is precisely targeting
the Bible said at the end
individuals
of time,
in charge of the nuclear facilities.
Like, isn't that in the Bible?
Against Israel and not the Iranian
all the nations
population,
of earth will gather at Israel. Like,
what we see from images coming
I
from
think the
Iran
Bible is just hyperbole,
is that
like
single apartments
and it wasn't
in
too much of a
residential
leap to
buildings
predict that
were
Israel will be the middle of
struck,
everything.
and not the entire neighborhoods. As
the Middle
Israel
East
has
is
the ability
where
to do that, but is choosing
the first
to target
laws were
only
ever created. It
the
wasn't always what it is
individuals
now.
that are involved in running the nuclear program, that are threatening Israel with strikes and annihilation. This is the situation, and it's very important for the world to know Israel is not at war against the Iranian people. Prime Minister of Israel stated it before.
I'm the bestie
we love the Iranian people, and they deserve a better leadership than the Islamic Revolutionary Guards Corps that is investing all their efforts, all their money, all their energy in proxies, in terrorist groups, and in the nuclear program instead of investing it in the Iranian people. So guys, if you are here, please pray for Israel. Please pray for the Iranian people
Our
to have
theory on what
a
lay dormant
different
inside the crystals
leadership,
was
a
proven
better
to be right
government
Taro on the money.
than the
Except didn't
Islamic
appreciate being
Revolutionary
woken up. We
Guards
were
Corps.
attacked. We were bested.
Mati, over to you.
Yeah, we're here
Spies.
standing at a
Why
unprecedented
do they so
historical day.
despise
I
talking
want to
with
say
us?
this here. I think even in
They'd
10
rather
years,
fight.
and I'll say this
What an
differently,
vanity would happen.
even
So
after
we're defeat
18 months of
I
war,
bet you can do it. Call
I
yourself an
think in
adventurer.
10
Give it a
years, in
shot.
15
Bring
years,
it on.
we'll go back to
Take
this
this tuning
date.
fork of fire. Be warned.
I need to
Only a
remind
person who
myself what it is
carries one
today,
can enter the
June
crystal.
13th,
Cool.
the
All
day
right.
that Israel
Flag
struck
different.
Iran. And I think this is day one of multiple days of strikes.
Can you guys hear my
I
thing
hope
playing in
and
the
I pray
background?
that the Americans join us in the attacks against the Iranians, because the number of their nuclear facilities is very substantial. We've looked at the IAEA and other reports that have come out.
I don't
over
want to join in
recent
this.
years. It is so clear how much the Iranians have spent, how hard they've worked to build a classified, a hidden infrastructure of terrorism, a hidden infrastructure of manufacturing nuclear capabilities. This is a government of a nation of tens of millions of people that is spending tens of billions of dollars annually on building weapons of mass destruction against Israel and against the Western way of life. And tonight, we saw an unprecedented, a historical moment where Israel had to, it was forced to take preemptive
attacks, to describe the suffering and fear that
strikes against the Iranians to respond to what we've
Listen
seen
to a pro-Israel
this
channel.
evil
I
growing
gotta
in
get
the
out of here.
East.
This is fucking bad. Why are we...
Hello, everybody. It's about 8:30 p.m. here on the East Coast. I have some very grave news to share with all of you. Israel has now conducted strikes on Iran, something that we warned about on our today's program. However, very few people expected it for actually to take place tonight.
A little
I'm going to
louder
go
than
ahead
my
and share
voice.
just some of the
How's
details
this?
that we have initially.
I'm not talking a whole lot, so maybe that
Ryan
might not
and
help.
Crystal and Emily will have a Friday.
Gustos, you're just a man I want to see. Am I wrong in saying Israel should not be attacking Iran right now?
These strikes just
Do you hear the thing playing in the background?
15 minutes ago or so. So I'm going to go ahead and show you
Jesus
guys
Christ.
some of the video that is now coming of Tehran. You can see smoke plumes that are rising all across the city, presumably at nuclear facilities, although that has not yet been confirmed. We presume that, though, of course, given the rhetoric and some of the reporting that we had previously.
I can't believe we're doing this.
What we do know is that Israel has confirmed that they have taken these strikes on Iran, and they are now directly taking precautions inside of the city, quote, for days of battle. This is according to their own defense minister, that Israel is now expecting attacks.
Well, I'm going around unlocking. I'm getting my summoner quests just in my inventory.
I do want to just underscore how
where do you unlock Titan? Trial by Earth.
This all is. And you know, just literally hours ago here in Washington, President Trump, quote, said he wanted an agreement with Iran and stressed that the United States is close to a good deal with the Iranians. This was, again, literally hours ago. Look at the timestamp here. Quote, I prefer a deal as long as I think
too old
there is
for
a
war
chance
and your child is too young.
They, quote, the Israelis don't go in order not to ruin it. Did you all underscore that one? In order not to ruin it. And literally, again, just, you know,
6-Day War
immediately following that, and clearly
what from the Bible, the whole 6-Day War, or you mean like Israel's actual 6-Day war?
Listen, from Donald Trump, this again was just literally 3 hours ago. Quote, we remain committed to a diplomatic resolution to the Iran nuclear issue.
Let's go to Windurst next.
My entire administration has been directed to negotiate with Iran. They could be a great country, but they must completely give up hopes of obtaining a nuclear weapon. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Just a couple things I want to underscore here. The United States was scheduled to meet tomorrow with the Iranians to potentially reach some sort of nuclear agreement.
You hear that? We're supposed to meet Israel to Iran tomorrow to come to a nuclear thing. To come to an agreement, and Israel just fucked us.
Israelis are now sending a message to us and to the world. We don't care about any of that. Diplomacy itself is fake, according to them. What they have chosen to do is to directly slap the United States here in the face and the entire world
Israel,
for any chance of diplomacy. They have now forced
horrible what happened on October 7th,
creating this geopolitical crisis here in the United States. Remember,
I can't believe this.
All of this comes from the fact that the United States got either wind, perhaps they were supporting something like this.
I can't
on the
fucking
back end.
believe
We
this.
will soon learn if details become clear on that front. We will remain tuned for that because it is certainly possible all of this is a giant head fake from the Trump administration. They knew the entire time. They supported them.
Which quest?
You will certainly hear that from me and from the show if we're able to get that information. But in terms of what we know publicly, And I can say I've been on the phone literally all day with my sources in and around Washington. Many of them warned me that something very, very bad was going to happen. But the general optimism was both Trump's rhetoric, as we saw from a couple of hours ago, and the fact that we still had perhaps a chance at these nuclear talks with Steve Witkoff that were going to happen tomorrow. Israel has now wiped all of that off of the table. They have chosen to start this war. This will almost certainly lead to retaliation and to United States intervention. We will be absolutely lucky if all we have to do is spend $5 to $10 billion just protecting the state of Israel, given the way that our current politics is. Not to mention that Iran has said directly any strikes on its nuclear facilities would lead to retaliatory strikes against the United States and against Israel.
I didn't pay for this. Like I didn't pay.
Absolutely certain.
I didn't sign up for this.
This is a historic moment, and I'm just going to leave everybody with this: that just today, Steve Witkoff briefed members of the United States in which he warned
Journey to Jabro. Yeah, Nord.
Israeli strike
I love me some Nord.
Mass casualty event, and I'm going to read from this. Iran has vowed to strike U.S. targets in the region in the event of an attack.
We're going to be at war.
Facilities. And what Steve Witkoff told them.
Iran's going to hit our stuff.
Behind closed doors in an intelligence briefing, military strikes on Israel are on the table.
We are a broken country right now with all this bullshit going on out west with ICE and all over every city in the country.
The U.S. is concerned Israel's air defenses would not be able to handle an Iranian response.
New Jersey mentioned by the
missiles. Such an attack would cause
Did he really mention it? New Jersey? I don't know that. I don't see why he would. I think you're fucking with me, but
arsenal during a speech, according to U.S. intelligence estimates, Iran has 2,000 ballistic missiles with warheads that carry 2,000 pounds of explosives. Israel is within range for many of these missiles. So we are in a very, very dangerous situation for us and for the world. This is the closest that we have come to a massive war since the breakout of the Ukraine war, but arguably we have never, the United States, been closer to a major war in my lifetime since the war in Iraq. This is an absolutely unprecedented move, earth-shattering move by the state of Israel to force the hand of the United States of America and to bring our troops into this war. We will have so much more, presumably, to cover this for the next several weeks, months, years. Unfortunately, given what we know about the U.S. foreign policy community, and my thoughts and prayers are with every United States service member who is there in the Middle East. We are with you, and I can just promise you, on my front, at the very least, I will do everything possible in my power to keep you out of harm's way, to stop from their ability to draw you and all of us as United States.
Give me a link to his speech.
Citizens into this war. It is a very grave situation for the world. We'll have with everybody. We'll have much more for everybody tomorrow, and we'll see you later.
Netanyahu war speech? Netanyahu.
Let's take you to that live.
Iran's nuclear enrichment program.
He mentions New Jersey.
At the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the Iranian bomb. We also struck at the heart of Iran's ballistic missile program. Last year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of explosives and threatens the lives of hundreds of people. Soon, those missiles could carry a nuclear payload, threatening the lives not of hundreds, but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000 of those ballistic missiles within 3 years. Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country the size of New Jersey.
There it is.
This is an intolerable threat. It too must be stopped. Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel. You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire to attack us with the horrible attack of October 7th. But the people of Israel, the soldiers of Israel, rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year, we struck back inside Iran itself. Yet in defending ourselves, we also defend others. We defend our Arab neighbors. They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and carnage. Our actions against Iran's proxy Hezbollah led to the establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for a different future, a better future. So too do the brave people of Iran.
Wow.
And I have a message for them. Our fight is not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near.
Yeah, good. Regime change, because that always works.
The great friendship between our two ancient peoples will flourish once again.
No, it won't.
I want to assure the civilized world.
Your people in Israel
will
are
not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons.
Orthodox Muslims
And Iran plans to give those weapons,
ultra-Orthodox. They hate anybody who's not Jewish.
Proxies. That would make the nightmare of nuclear terrorism all
They
too
spit
real.
on Christians.
The increasing range of Iran's ballistic missiles would bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls America the great
Talking
Satan.
about regime change, because that
This is why
worked.
for decades,
Knock Saddam Hussein out.
in the chance of
We got,
death
you
to
know,
Israel
Iraq is
and
better than
death to
Afghanistan, but
America.
we got ISIS in
Today,
return.
Israel is responding to those genocidal
We're
calls
the first target in Palestine. We're the
action
oldest Christian
and with a
churches
call of our own.
in history.
Long
I didn't know
live
that.
Israel and long live
What do you mean?
America. Our action will
First
help make
targets
the
in
world
Palestine?
a much safer place. I want to thank
I
President
mean,
Trump
technically there is no
for his leadership
Palestine.
in
There's
confronting Iran's nuclear
West Bank
weapons
and
program.
Gaza.
He has made
But,
clear time and again
you know,
that Iran cannot have
Christians
a
suck. They
nuclear
are.
enrichment
They're dicks.
program.
They are.
Today, it is clear that Iran
All
is
religion
just
sucks.
buying
It's all
for
fiction.
time.
It's all made up.
It refuses to agree to this basic
Like
requirement.
a lot of the Jews
peaceful
who are
nation.
gobbling up land in the
That
West
is why
Bank
we
that's
have
not
no
theirs,
choice but to act.
saying, "Oh, well, God
And
gave it
act
to us
now.
in the Bible. It's ours.
The hardest
It's
decision
ours. Our
any
God
leader
gave it
has
to us.
make
This is our land."
is to thwart a danger.
And they're being
before it
backed
is
by the
fully
military and the
materialized.
police and removing
Nearly a century ago, facing the
Palestinians of a right
Nazis,
to the land.
a generation of leaders failed to act in time. They were paralyzed by the horrors of World War I. They were determined to avoid war at all costs.
No, there's like a sect
they
of
got
like
the worst
Armenian
war
Christians or something.
ever.
Like there's like a
They
sect of some kind of
adopted a policy of
Christianity
appeasement. They closed their eyes
in
and
Israel
ears
somewhere.
to
That
all
like
the
in
warning
Israel
signs.
backs some group of like
That
Muslim
failure to act
scumbags live in caves
resulted
nearby
in
to take them
World
out.
War II, the deadliest war in history. It claimed the lives of 60 million, including 6 million Jews, a third of my people. After that war,
Your people,
the
Bibi.
Jewish
I think,
people and the Jewish state vowed,
isn't Bibi like
never again.
European ancestry?
well, never again is now. Today, Israel has shown that we have learned the lessons of history. When
I just wanna
enemies
shit on
vow
them.
to
I just wanna-
destroy you, believe them. When enemies build weapons of mass death, stop them.
Nishi, I don't
As the
hate on
Bible
you know. I
teaches
think you
us,
know by now. I don't
when
hate
someone
anybody who
comes
does
to kill you,
find
rise
comfort or
and
whatever
act
wisdom.
first.
Whatever you feel
This
about
is
religion,
exactly
I
what
don't
Israel has
knock
done
anybody
today.
for feeling that
We
way.
have risen
I,
like lions.
that's not
to
my
defend
intent. I'm just an
ourselves.
atheist. It's not for
Over
me. I
3,000
don't.
years ago,
I'm
Moses
not
gave
going to
the
tell
people of
anybody
Israel
what to think or
a
what to
message
do. I'm
that has
just giving
steeled
my
their
opinion.
resolve ever since. Be strong and courageous, he said. Today,
Alright, we're gonna get
our
Ramov
strong and courageous soldiers and people
next.
stand together
How do you guys
to
pronounce
defend
Ramov?
ourselves against those who seek
This
our
guy.
destruction.
The
And
summon
by
with the
defending
lightning.
ourselves, we defend many
Wait,
others.
I've heard Ramov.
And we roll
Ramov.
back a
do you
murderous
guys think?
tyranny. Generations from now,
call him R.
history will record that our generation stood its ground,
Fuck you,
acted
Bibi.
in time, and secured our common future.
You're a clown.
May God bless Israel. May God bless
Yeah,
the
who's
forces
God?
of civilization everywhere. Thank you.
Where's Garuda?
Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu speaking there at a press conference
Trial by
directly to
wind.
camera, saying that, making it very clear that he says Israel had no choice. In his words, he says, we have risen
Rabah.
like lions to defend
Rabah.
ourselves. Well, Noor O'Day joins us from Amman. Noor, the Israeli Prime Minister there making it clear that
Ramu.
this, in his
Ramu?
words, is a
Ramu,
defensive
okay.
action.
I like that.
Yes, well, this is how it would be framed no matter what the context, Sarah. Recall that the attacking Iran is a point of consensus
Ew.
in Israeli politics. All Israeli politicians from across the political spectrum view Iran as an existential threat. And in the past 20 months or so, we've seen Israel and Iran exchange strikes. due to the escalating violence initiated all the time by Israel.
I'm not level
in,
20 yet
in
for
strikes
carbuncle. No,
against
carbuncle
Iran.
mitts. Is
This
it?
is different, though.
Yeah, you don't have to
This
be
is a
level
strike
20.
that,
I'll get there. I
according
want to
Israeli
unlock all the
reports,
summons first.
targets the
Then I'll
assassination
work my
of
way
key
down the
figures
list.
in the Israeli revolution, in the Iranian Revolutionary
Carbuncle
Guard, as
mitts are a
well
drop
as
from a mob.
key
They're
and
not.
strategic
They don't cost anything.
positions
Who
and
doesn't have
military
the money?
assets in Iran. We've been hearing all sorts of rumors and leaks
I-9
in the
and
media in the past 24 hours. And as we've been hearing from Alan over in
So it isn't very
Washington, D.C., the Trump administration even took steps. And the Israeli public has been wondering whether this is just added pressure on Iran and the Trump administration, or whether they should really be getting ready for war. And at the moment, they know they are in a state of emergency. The airspace of Israel has been closed down. Schools, businesses, all shut down. The public instructed to only leave their homes in extreme cases and in cases of emergency and extreme need. Thousands of reservists have been called up
there is nomad
for
moguls
duty,
here. Why
and
did I
right
think there
now
wasn't?
the situation in Israel is on heightened alert because
You're that famous
they do
adventurer,
expect
Louis.
Iranian retaliation, although no news of that has
Destiny
come
brought
about
us together.
yet. But we are
Okay,
hearing more and more from
you
the
said the
Israeli
same thing.
side
They all said the same
about
thing.
measures taken, about the fact that this strike was sanctioned by the Israeli
Crystal's
cabinet
pouring
at
forth,
night.
blah, blah, blah.
And right now, senior Israeli leaders have
Look
been
at
taken to
this.
safe locations, according to the Israeli
Awakening the
military radio.
crystals.
No, let's bring in Alan
Part of
Fisher
the money,
then
but
in
woke up and
Washington,
attacked us.
D.C. Alan, Benjamin Netanyahu there thanking
Someone to
the
defeat them.
U.S. president. What are your thoughts there?
Bring it on. I'm your man.
Well, clearly Benjamin Netanyahu knows how to play Donald Trump, a man who, of course, has portrayed himself
Try
as
that
the
you may,
most
there will come a time when
pro-Israeli
failure is
president
inevitable.
that the United States has ever seen. Truman could perhaps argue against that. What we heard from Benjamin Netanyahu was addressing this effectively as also a threat to the United
got
States.
to do the non-prime fight.
Could
What
well
was the
be
cap for that?
attacks in the
Those
US
caps,
at some
those
point
fights
down
are
the line.
uncapped.
We know that the United States were aware that there was the likelihood of these attacks.
I remember doing
That's why
those
they
back
took
in like
the action
2011.
that they did over the last 24 hours.
I
at their
remember me and a
embassies
buddy
across the Middle
duo
East.
Ifrit.
But I was speaking to one analyst by text just in the
Ifrit
last
was a little
20
tough,
minutes or
though.
so,
When he blows
and
up
said
with his
this is a
2-hour,
preemptive strike by the
that's
Israelis.
when
It's
he would
Benjamin
get wiped.
Netanyahu preemptively
His 2-hour
killing
always got
the
us.
chances of Donald Trump
So we
reaching
stacked up
a
on
deal
bar
with
fire
Iran
potions
on
and
its
bar
nuclear
fire
program.
spell
And now it's up
and
to
fire
the US to
resistance
decide
gear as much as
how
we
it
could,
will respond
and just
if
we
Iran
barely
takes
survived. We just
action
needed a
against
pinch of
Israel.
HP to survive.
And certainly looking at social media, there are a lot of people who would be natural supporters of Donald Trump who say that this is Israel's war
down.
and that the United States cannot get involved in this. Certainly we know from statements from members of the government just in the last hour or so that the US was not involved and did not
got
assist.
Fenrir,
But Marco Rubio,
got
the Secretary of State,
Ifrit,
has in the
got
last
Ramu.
hour put out a statement warning
Where do I
Iran
unlock Shiva?
it should not target
That's
US
Winder.
interests or
Sandy.
personnel in the coming days. Benjamin Netanyahu has said that this operation may go on for several days. Donald Trump, who this evening was at a picnic on the grounds of the White House, the congressional picnic, it's an annual event. He made some brief remarks, did not mention what had happened in Israel, and then went back into the White House. We are told that he is there with his national security team,
plopper rather
and it's
than a
his intention
survivor.
to hold a cabinet meeting with many of those national security figures. First thing
I'm looking
on
forward to doing
Friday
these
morning
fights.
to
These will be
discuss
pretty
what
good
the
content,
US
I think.
should do in the coming hours.
Alan Fisher.
I'm going to do a live stream that I want
DC.
to take
Thank
those.
you. Let's bring in Al Jazeera's correspondent Ali Hashem, who joins us
I'll
live
take the
here
fight.
in the
I'll take
studio.
that
We just
stream and
heard
cut out
from
the fight and make
Israeli
that its own
Prime
video.
Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Interestingly, he also said, "We will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons." So this is about those nuclear weapons and the danger there, isn't it?
Well, since the beginning, I mean, Netanyahu has been obsessed with Iran and mainly with Iran's nuclear program. And he's always
Bibi's doing this.
That the Iranians are after.
Bibi was about to go to jail, but he got reelected. He's facing some probably hard time for his
agenda is not
shady, shitty misgivings.
That they see.
He's doing all this to keep himself out of prison.
Nuclear bombs as against their own ethics. So, I mean, this is.
So to go back to the news of the day here.
Everyone, it's a moment of truth where everyone is in front of their of the new situation,
Fucking
the new
bullshit.
status quo. He said that they assassinated or they targeted nuclear scientists, and also
Iran does not
or
have any
facilities
capability. We
related or have
I'll say we because we basically
connection to
helped. Israel
Iran's
and
missile
we
program.
flattened them
What I know
last
right
year
now
when
is
they
that,
retaliated.
there
When
is
Iran
a
shot those,
meeting in
launched
Tehran.
those drones
The
at
leadership is
Israel,
meeting
shot
to
them all
take a
down.
decision on how to retaliate.
And then Israel retaliated, I think, in 2 different strikes.
This is something that's automatic.
And basically proved
Whenever
Iran to be
there
a
are
paper
big,
tiger. They have no. We
events
destroyed their
just like
defenses,
this is an
destroyed their
aggression on a
airfields.
country. They are taking such measures. Now, what was hit in the past hour or couple of hours?
You want to know
What
whose
we're
fault
hearing
it is
now
that Trump is president?
the
It's Mitch
Natanz
McConnell.
facility was
When they
hit,
voted for
or
impeachment
close to Natanz facility,
and it
we
didn't
don't know
pass the Senate,
precisely.
Mitch
Kerman
McConnell is,
Shah,
well,
which is
you
also
can't impeach
a
a sitting.
district,
Someone who's no
province
longer
to the
president. Bad
northwest
precedent.
Iran and borders with
There's
Iraq
Republicans
was also hit.
walling up
Kurdistan
around
was hit.
Republicans.
Tehran was
Then
hit.
as soon as Trump is president
Several
again,
areas,
Trump
as
is
we've
just
been
shitting all
seeing,
over Mitch
we are
McConnell
seeing
and his wife.
residential areas in
It's
the
like,
capital were hit. Now,
and it's the
there
American
is a
voters,
kind
honestly,
of
who
a
voted for Trump.
tactic
I get
the
people who
Israelis
voted for
are,
Trump. I understand it, but
adopting. From the
like,
bigger
by doing
picture
that,
in
you're
the region,
tacitly
where
saying
they
that
started
behavior
with
is
hitting
okay.
what they call
I don't think
the
you're saying
arms
it's
of the
okay, but
octopus, and
you're
then
looking past
they
all
went
that.
to the head of the octopus. It seems that inside Iran,
I think a lot of the stuff against Trump is some of it was warranted, but they did like hit the New York City real estate thing. They mashed a bunch of smaller charges together to create a novel legal theory that has never been done before, just to get him.
And who knows what's going to be next?
But that's not the point here.
What we heard
but
from
Israel's
Netanyahu
doing this
isn't
because
just
Trump is
an
president.
attack
They feel
on
emboldened.
Iran's nuclear facilities.
So
It's
we're
an
doing
attempt
this. We're having
to
military parades,
dismantle
and
the whole system.
our cities are on fire
if
right
this is
now
going
with
to
what are
continue
basically race
this way,
riots.
Then the threat is going to be very big, and the threat of a wider escalation is going to be stressed more and more. We have to wait to see how the Iranians are going to retaliate first.
Absolutely, Ali. We're just seeing latest pictures there, a huge explosion there.
Oh, Jesus.
That seems to be, those are the latest pictures, so that could well be yet another explosion.
Well, of course, there have been a couple of waves. The first wave that we started the coverage with, and then there was a second wave. And in parallel, there were attacks on, as I've been saying, different provinces around Iran where
they held a concert right on the wall with Gaza on October 7th.
Military facilities,
and the day before a bunch of people in Israel shorted the
there is some ballistic missiles launchers there.
This guy's right here, isn't he?
During the attack on Israel, we've seen the Iranians launching their missiles, part of their missiles, from several areas, including Kermanshah. Now,
Shiva is
Natanz, just in case this is going to be confirmed or not from the Iranians,
Northern Sandy.
we're going to see pictures. This is also something else. But there's a carnage in Tehran, as we can see.
Israel held a concert on the wall.
And the Israelis are saying it's going to
They had the
continue.
Nova Music
It's not going to
Festival that was
stop.
about
Yeah.
The main issue
like
right
solidarity
now is
with the Palestinians
is
for their plight.
The whole nuclear path, the nuclear negotiations path, has it evaporated completely?
Like Israel, what's
Or
happening with
there is
Israel
still a
right now
chance
is
where
it almost mirrors
President Trump
9/11.
Can jump in.
A big,
and try
you know,
save
you're
the
attacking your
whole city.
citizens.
Ali, thank you for that. I want to just
And then
bring
they
in
rolled
Trita
into
Parsi,
Gaza,
the
and it's turned into
Executive Vice
mission creep.
President
Rolled into
of the
Gaza.
Quincy
We're in Lebanon.
Institute for Responsible
We're striking
Statecraft, joining us
Syria.
from Reston,
We're striking
Virginia.
Iran.
And just speaking there
We
with
did
our
the
correspondent,
Hezbollah
Ali
beepers
Hashim,
attack and killed
there,
Hezbollah,
in
which was
terms
pretty.
of the nuclear issue, I mean,
That
we're
attack
seeing
was
the
pretty
latest
cool, honestly.
pictures here,
But
Trita, of those explosions.
it's just turned into
I mean,
one thing
presumably
after
there
another.
could be concern within
Sound
Iran
familiar?
and the rest of the world about whether those nuclear facilities are hit. I mean, what happens then?
Of course. Well, we've seen this extensively whenever there's been any attack by the Russians on Ukrainian nuclear facilities. There's been a major international uproar. Remains to be seen whether that will happen now.
And Israel's so
since
haphazard.
Israel tends to get
They're just
special
indiscriminately
treatment
killing
and
at this
pass on many
point.
of these different things. But there is obviously a significant risk. that if they do
Indiscriminately
hit
striking
nuclear
things.
facilities, that will create not only a massive
And they're gonna
humanitarian crisis,
they're gonna
but
shoot a
also an
missile at a
environmental
nuclear
crisis.
site in Iran and
Okay.
kaboom. What happened? That was Al Jazeera. I think Al Jazeera is an illegitimate news outlet.
Work in the India-Pakistan war, it was tremendous amount of data created, which everyone was focused on. How much data was being created on the different types of
This is
missiles
boring.
used. These missiles, these
Free
weapons are
press.
made for being used. They would like
Barry
to
Weiss,
so they can
she's
calibrate
wet
for
between the
future
legs right
strikes.
now because she's
I
a
think this could
psycho.
be, there's a historical
Let's
context.
hear what she has to say.
Myself, who I oppose the current
Psycho
government.
bitch.
I don't think it's the right government for Israel, but I stand behind this decision.
Yeah.
It's something I've been preaching for years, to hit the head of the octopus, to take it out aggressively, because it's the very last moment.
I think
So
Bibi was
there's
going to do
no
it no matter
daylight
what. There's
between
footage
anyone
of
in
his
Israel.
mentor,
We all stand
Rabbi
behind
telling
this,
him it was his Bibi's
strike.
responsibility to
Okay,
bring forth
so
the Messiah.
let's talk about what
What's the
realistically you
bring forth what
actually
Messiah? What's the
expect
Messiah in
Israel to
Judaism?
achieve tonight.
Didn't
You were
they
the Prime
kill?
Minister.
Didn't they
I
complicit?
imagine that means you've had more
Weren't
than
they
a couple
complicit in
briefings
having the Christian
on the
Messiah,
Iranian nuclear
Jesus, killed?
program
So
and on
what's
a
the
potential
who's the
Israeli
Messiah?
strike. There were many people, even those who believe that Israel should
Don't
strike
make me
Iran,
hurt all
were
over.
very skeptical and remain skeptical of the idea that it would be
I don't have
capable
enough
of
Sandy fame.
doing it on its own,
Fuck.
given the extent of Iran's nuclear program and how deep it is underground.
Really?
So will this attack actually take out Iran's nuclear
Ain't not
program?
enough fame.
Or will it be something more like Stuxnet or some of these other targeted attacks where it rolls
Garuda?
it back by a few years? What's your expectation?
Well, I
Where's
think because of
Titan?
the magnitude of the attack, the scope of the attack, where we're also taking out
Bastalk. I can
military
definitely do
leadership,
Bastalk.
nuclear military leadership, and facilities, this could be a big pushback on the
Oh,
program.
not enough fame.
It's yet to be seen
I'm the
full
Messiah.
scope of the effect, but from what I'm looking at, this is an ongoing
The beeper
attack.
thing
It's
is
not a
what
one-off.
everyone's being told.
We're
Lithium
gradually
batteries,
taking
TVs,
out the air
electronics near
defense
them blew up,
systems,
so I'm going with an
ballistic
actual
missile systems,
energy weapon. I didn't hear that.
the IRGC leadership.
No, I don't think
Quds
so.
leadership, everything that
I listened to a
moves
lot of
all
different
these,
stuff. From what I heard,
terror heads. So
they
I
worked
think,
with like
this
those
attack
beepers
has
are made by a
very
Taiwanese
good
company. They
potential
intercepted those
to push
parts.
them
That
back,
was a
back
pretty
for
intricate
meaningful
operation.
time. We'll see at the
They
end
could have done that
how
at
it
any
goes.
time.
What do you expect the next few days to look like in Israel?
I
and around
think
the region?
TVs and
What can
electronics
people
blew
expect by
up
the time
because
they
they were
wake up
close to
tomorrow
the
in America?
beepers that exploded.
We're looking at tough days ahead. We're looking at tough days ahead. We should assume that Iran will respond, will retaliate. We've seen them attack us unprovoked twice over the past year. Twice they hurled about 200 missiles towards us. And all in all, we defended ourselves fairly well. I assume and believe that we're preparing for a broader attack than that. But Israel has formidable defenses. It's not 100%.
Lagging all these
Things can
quests.
infiltrate Israel, and that's why the actions and behavior of the citizens of Israel are critical. And here I urge, I'm sure you have also fellowship in Israel, stay near the shelters, go in the shelters when necessary. It saves lives.
I want to go, if it's okay with you, to some audience questions. We have brilliant people that read and listen to the Free Press. One person here in the audience asks, is there any reason to believe that the developments that are beginning tonight could lead to the fall of the Iranian regime before the year is over?
I bet you would love that, you psycho gawky bitch.
We have to see.
Oh, can't stand her. Israel's Air Force carried out preemptive strikes in Iran. Let's go on over to... There you go, CGTN. My TV came from China. What is that building? Building's weird looking. Tel Aviv objectively looks like shit. At least from this angle. China looks nicer than this. Well, this is nice. Teleportation. Conquest points. Okay. Alright, we got no news here. Who the hell is Daniel Davis? What's the hot zone?
Israeli Air Force and Intelligence Directorate focused on Iran and preparations for large-scale strikes. Following Israel's strike on Iran in October, the Intelligence Directorate carried out an unprecedented concentration of efforts to build an opening blow against senior Iranian military officials and nuclear scientists. So it's exactly what I've been saying. Israel has been planning this and has been setting this up inside Iran for years, and they've been coming to a head over the last several months.
Calling Jesus Christians, okay.
They have, look, Iran is so corrupt, the government there is so corrupt, that it's simple for Israel to just offer money to.
Oh, I know. I've been to a couple places outside of the cities. I know. They're pretty run down and shitty looking.
And get them to bring intelligence to the Israelis, or get them to do things like, I don't know, installing explosives in a bedroom in a highly secure government facility where
I went to a little rundown village called Shenzhou.
Sleeping.
It was not pretty.
Things like that.
It was gross
so,
there.
The Mossad is very heavily active inside Iran. And we have seen these events, let's call them, all around Iran over the past month. I was talking about yesterday that, things have just been spontaneously combusting. The port at Bandar Abbas just went up in flames. There have been ships, just yesterday, a ship that with a cargo of methane went up, killed 3 people.
Port Bastock.
There are all these accidents.
Near the drawbridge, okay.
One of them blew up a motorcycle factory where they were making motors that just so happen to be the exact same motors that go in Shahed drones. That thing just accidentally, spontaneously combusted. We don't know.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
The Israelis have not taken credit for any of those, but I think you can connect the dots.
What do I got?
Two brain cells to rub together. You can tell that this is likely something.
I got
that's
Ifrit.
happening because of
Ramu.
actions taken by Israel. Speaking
Now
to
we're getting
the IDF's
Titan.
top brass ahead of the strikes on Iran,
I'm pretty
Defense
certain I can get
Minister Israel
Norg.
Katz said the military developed exceptional capabilities for the operation. And he said that upon taking office, I defined the thwarting of Iran's nuclear ambitions as a top priority. Iran is more determined than ever to realize its vision of destroying Israel. We are at a critical juncture. If we miss it, we will have no way to prevent Iran from acquiring nuclear weapons that threaten our existence. We have dealt with Iran's proxies over the past year and a half, but now we're dealing with the head of the snake itself, Katz continued. Over the years, and especially in recent months, the IDF has built exceptional capabilities in intelligence and operations, both defensive and offensive, which enable us to effectively confront the major challenges we face.
I didn't start the quest.
There you go. If they
did I
are effective enough at this,
yeah, Rabeo.
You're talking about regime change inside.
Raboa?
Very likely.
R-A-B-A-O.
Very likely we may see regime change in Iran. And now, is this going to make the Iranian people want to go to war with Israel?
Then I go to Norg.
No, for the most part, the Iranian people are not
traveling the globe.
Pro-Iran. At least they're not pro their government. They live under a dictatorship, and they know it. How do I know this? Well, I've talked to a bunch of Iranians here in Armenia.
Getting Fenrir is...
as I mentioned, I'm just a couple hours drive from the Iranian border right now. And I'm going to be in the province that borders Iran this morning. We're going to go down there today.
You're that famous adventurer,
This is, it's easy to meet Iranians coming across the border. And when I was here in September, I talked to a
all these Taurus say
of
the same
Iranian
thing.
men that stopped in the village that we were in.
Can you guys hear me over the audio?
Those guys did not like the regime in Iran. They would have loved to have seen the Iranian regime fall. Anybody know what brand jacket I'm wearing? I don't know. It's REI. It's an REI
Bring it
jacket.
on.
Maybe we can tag that in our feed. So, folks, we got over 8,000 people watching. Do me a favor, hit that like button. Don't forget. And also, if you want to follow my reporting, toss me a bone and buy a cup of coffee for us over at chuckholton.com by becoming a supporter over there. Or you can do that here on YouTube in the super chat, super thanks if you know how to do that. We appreciate all the donations, and we try to use them the best we can to help people around the world. This is Hossein Salami, who was killed in an airstrike, one of the first airstrikes today. This is especially sweet for Israel because this guy.
This is so bad. Here's Asmongold.
Israel is currently striking Iran's capital, Tehran. Israel attacking Iran is a preemptive strike after declaring a state of emergency.
Jeez.
That's some girls? Okay. Okay, let's watch this.
Why does that look like a mushroom cloud?
Oh, I guess it must have blown up. So this is in Tehran? Nothing ever happens? I mean, I feel like it's happening. Like, you look at that, it's just smoke. Well, I mean, what do you think it is? I mean, how do you think it happened? You think somebody just lit a fire?
All right, off to the jungle.
Nothing ever happens. Chud defeated. Oh man. True, man. Like, that's the way I would feel too. These are like, it's a peaceful preemptive strike. Oh wait, are these bombs freedom of speech? I think they might be.
Freedom of speech bombs.
Oh, no.
Oh, Nishi, don't sweat it. Don't ever. I don't want anybody here to feel like they have to give me money. That's Casey kind of clowning me and shamelessly plugging, but I don't ever want people to feel like they have to give me money. Please. I don't want anybody to feel that way. I know you work very hard, Nishi. I'm glad you're here every day when I stream it. It means a lot to me.
How is this America's problem? I mean, like, I don't want to see, like, the thing is, like,
I'll give him a thing or two in your
face. Ukraine
face.
attacks have shown anything. It's that we don't need to have, like, U.S. troops go over there to even have a military interaction with this.
I need to do
with them, right? I mean, like he wanted to get involved. Like, okay, send a few flying lawnmowers over there. Send the fucking drones. Like, yeah, exactly, right? Yeah, send it. Yeah, bro. Like, let's just literally phone this shit in. You know. All right. Okay. This is the nuclear, and all right, boom. Okay, problem solved. That's it.
I'm not a fan, dude. Hey, Megs.
And send the migrants over there. Well,
you pay in time spent, exactly.
Does the U.S. even involved?
Megs, I'm not liking this. This is really shitty.
Like, the guy that was the schizo in there. I mean, like, let's be honest.
I forgot I was wearing this.
Did Trump say anything about like whether he knew this attack was going to happen or not?
Lower Juno.
Because like, if Trump comes out and says he didn't even know this shit was going to happen, I feel like that's pretty fucking big, man.
I'm actually at a pretty good place.
From Israel, while
watch hours.
Keeping the video on the screen. This is from Israel's from the IDF. The IDF says this is Israeli announcement from.
I'm at 3,749 out of 4,000. At 4,000, you're monetized. I'm almost there.
Damage the Iranian nuclear program. Okay, this is coming from the Israeli military. They say.
So the more people hang out in chat, it adds to the watch hours.
The IDF spokesman announces that a short time ago, the IDF,
hit the like,
under the guidance of the
invite your friends, have them hang out.
Launched a precise and integrated preemptive strike based on high-quality intelligence with the aim of damaging the Iranian nuclear program and in response to the Iranian regime's ongoing aggression against Israel. Dozens of Air Force aircraft recently completed the opening strike, which included attacking...
Lead singer of the Beach Boys just died. The Beach Boys made that song, Barbara Ann.
Wow.
Bomb, 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 Iran.
Commands instructions, which will be updated as needed, and act responsibly in
BR2, S2 Underground, open intel site, just push to priority. What does that mean? You can't drop something like that, then just leave me. You gotta explain that.
Iran has been directly and indirectly...
Can someone tell me what that means?
...against the state of Israel, financing and directing terrorist acts through its proxies throughout the Middle East, while advancing towards nuclear weapons.
What does that mean?
IDF says the Iranian
They're making me
regime
Google
is the
it.
primary perpetrator of all terrorist acts.
I have to hire a fucking Jamie, like Joe Rogan.
Including
I gotta look that up.
financing the Hamas terrorist organization responsible for the events of October 7th. During the Iron
Okay, that doesn't
War,
help.
Iran
I just looked
even
up
attacked Israel
BRTS2.
twice,
That's a bus.
firing hundreds of missiles
I got a
and
bus,
unmanned
like a transit
aerial
bus.
vehicles, drones into the
That ain't
country.
it.
The IDF continues. The Iranian regime
Figure it
has a
out. You're a
stated
big
goal of
boy. Oh,
destroying
come
the
on,
state
man.
of Israel.
Casey, give that a Google. You're going to get a
Iranian
picture of a
regime officials
fucking
declare this and are working
city
to realize
bus,
it with
commuter
envoys
bus.
in the Middle East. Iran says Israel
Oh.
is today closer than ever
Freelance
to
intelligence
obtaining
agency that
nuclear
provides
weapons.
intelligence on
Weapons of
topics
mass
such as
destruction in the
terrorism,
hands
fake
of their
news, and
Israel
political
and a
tyranny.
significant threat to the entire world.
Oh, he's
The state
reading
of
a different
Israel will
translation.
not allow a regime whose goal is
region.
the destruction of the state of Israel to possess weapons of mass destruction. The IDF has been conducting a lengthy process of
You
assessment
can't afford a Jamie.
preparations for the campaign at the front
I
and
need
in the rear. Civilian
El
resilience
Shimo
will be an
Lowlands.
important component
I'm
of
a
the
low
campaign.
life.
World War III?
The IDF is prepared
know
to
yet.
continue to act as necessary. The state of Israel has a duty
Yeah, I'm
to
not
act
sure.
to protect its citizens and will continue to do so wherever required,
Okay.
as it has done in the past. The
Guy's name is
IDF
illegal.
conducting
Somebody
ongoing
with the username illegal
assessment
just walked
and will
past me.
update on any developments.
Kustos, please come
So
back. You can't just say
Israel
something like that then leave.
has,
That's against the rules.
launched a
Oh my, I'm gonna
precise
die if I
and
hang out here.
integrative preemptive strike based on high-quality intelligence
Okay,
with the,
let's
with
do a
the
little bit
aim-
of
the aim
snack.
damaging the Iranian nuclear program and in response to the Iran regime's
Invisible.
ongoing aggression against Israel.
Man. Statement from Secretary Marco Rubio. Tonight, Israel took unilateral action against Iran. We are not involved in strikes against Iran, and our top
Yeah, we are.
priority
We
is
gave them
protecting the
munitions.
American forces in the region. Israel advised us that they believe this action was necessary.
Nisi, what's that
for
mean? Am I too loud?
self-defense. President Trump and the administration have taken all necessary steps to protect our forces and remain in close contact with our regional partners. Let me be clear, Iran should not target U.S. interests or personnel. So,
Israel launched Operation Rising Lion.
okay, Rising Lion, good one. All right, let's watch it. Here we go.
Okay, I'm not
this
too
came
loud.
out.
All
This
right.
literally just came out.
Moments ago, Israel launched Operation Rising Lion, a targeted military operation to roll back the Iranian threat.
So,
to
Kustos, can you
Israel's
explain
very
that?
survival.
BR,
This operation will continue
BRTS2
for as
Underground,
many days
like
as it takes.
Brave
Remove
browsers telling me S2 means some kind of intelligence
the tyrants of
stuff.
Tehran
But can you
brazenly,
clarify that?
openly called for Israel's destruction.
Costco?
They backed up
You
their
just called it
genocidal
Costco?
rhetoric with a
Did you do that
program
on
to
purpose, or was that an
develop
autocorrect?
nuclear weapons. In recent years, Iran has produced enough highly enriched uranium for 9 atom bombs. 9.
No, they didn't. You're a
In recent
liar.
months,
Iran
has
can't
taken
make a fucking
steps
paper
that it
airplane.
has never taken before. Steps to weaponize this enriched uranium. And if not stopped,
I can make better.
Iran
I
could
shouldn't
produce
say
a
this out
nuclear
loud, but I
weapon
will. I can
in
make
a
better
very
uranium
short
than
time.
Iran.
It could be a year. It could be within a few months.
Rusty could make better
This is a clear
uranium.
and present danger to Israel's very survival.
Welcome to
80 years
Costco. I love you.
the Jewish people were the victims of a
What?
Holocaust.
So, Kustos, explain yourself, please. Killing me. I gave it a Google, the thing you said, and I got a commuter, like, charter bus
Like,
line.
I mean, I get it, right? I get it, but I mean,
perpetrated by the Nazi regime. Today, the Jewish state refuses to be a victim of a nuclear holocaust
Oh, shut the fuck up.
perpetrated by the Iranian regime. Now, as Prime
Iran
Minister,
doesn't have a nuke.
I've made it clear time and again, Israel will never allow those who call for our annihilation to develop the means to achieve that goal. Tonight, Israel backs those words with action. We struck at the heart of Iran's
Give your mother
nuclear
action.
enrichment
Shut up.
We struck at the heart of Iran's nuclear weaponization program. We targeted Iran's main enrichment facility in Natanz. We targeted Iran's leading nuclear scientists working on the
S2
Iranian
Underground uses a network
We
open
also struck at
intelligence
the
that
heart
is
of
very
Iran's
accurate.
ballistic missile program.
Okay, so you mentioned,
Last
though...
year, Iran fired 300 ballistic missiles at Israel. Each of these missiles carries a ton of
You're wrong, Ian.
and threatens
You're
the
wrong,
lives
Ian. That's
of
clever.
hundreds of people. Soon,
So,
those missiles will carry
BRT S2
nuclear
Underground
threatening the
just
lives
pushed a
of
priority.
hundreds,
What does that mean?
but of millions. Iran is gearing up to produce 10,000.
What is Norg? You hug the right wall? Is that it?
Now just imagine 10,000 tons of TNT landing on a country.
Yeah, but how long can Israel really use the Holocaust as their like founding fucking thing? Yeah, horribles. Hey, Greg. Like, how long can Israel do that?
I feel like, in general, like, I mean, I sympathize with them, and I'm sure it's bad, but I also find it to be relatively distasteful that it seems like this is, like, you're structuring this and providing a frame of reference. It's almost like this address is for the American people to, like, get them on your side. Yeah, like, this guy's saying it, like, I mean, I'm just gonna read what you said because
As long as China can do what they keep doing. Oh, fucking
He's mentioning New Jersey and speaking in English to try to gain American sympathy and
support.
Yeah. That's exactly what that's thank you for saying
Talk
what
about
I
New
was
Jersey.
trying to say.
Where's Rusty? Rusty would be very pleased right now.
Iran is now working on what it calls the new plan to destroy Israel.
Oh no.
You see, the old plan failed. Iran and its proxies tried to encircle Israel with a ring of fire and to attack us with the horrible attack of October.
This might be a stupid question, but like, why does Iran want to destroy Israel so bad?
Because they hate Jews. I mean, really, that's no joke. What the fuck? That skeleton just ran through the ceiling. Did you see that?
Because
Look at that
they're
thing.
Jews? I mean, is it? There's no way. Like, I mean, there's no way that's actually it, right?
I hear you, Greg.
There's no way.
Nah, he's just kind of, his brain is addled for all the medication he used to be on.
No, guys, come on.
Ring out fire.
That's it? No.
Priority pushes usually have clear, known intel of imminent or stuff that just happened.
It sounds silly, but it's a
Good
very
choice,
valid
Greg.
question. I know. It's like, how do you have, like, this is like a fucking, like you know, like Cartoon Network, another master plan to destroy
just
Israel.
happened?
Like,
why did I get a cutscene?
I mean, I bet probably, I don't know.
This thing.
Do a lot of Iranian people even
safe?
get behind this?
Whew.
Or is it just their government? No.
I completely forgot about this quest.
Oh my god.
Like, you don't have to go anywhere? Did I do this quest?
Another master
the
plan.
soldiers of Israel rose like lions to defend our country. We crushed Hamas, we devastated Hezbollah, we hit Iranian proxies in Syria and Yemen. And when Iran directly attacked us twice last year,
this quest, I remember talking to Stray Cloud, but I thought you had to go to somewhere and see Serpent Grotto, hit the question mark, and then come back.
They too have suffered from Iran's campaign of chaos and
The
carnage.
beast that appearing in the grotto.
Our
They
actions
thought I could do
against
something.
Iran's
That's why I
proxy,
left. I wanted to
Hezbollah,
defeat the
led to the
monsters.
establishment of a new government in Lebanon and the collapse of Assad's murderous regime in Syria. The peoples of those two countries now have a chance for different.
Yeah, I've lost in the caves I walked through for years.
So too,
Pathetic,
the
I know.
brave people of Iran.
It's alright. I've been getting lost in Sea Serpent Grotto for 20 years. It's okay.
It's not with you. Our fight is with the brutal dictatorship that has oppressed you for 46 years. I believe that the day of your liberation is near.
I turned back and just
When
began
that
my search
happens,
for the way home.
The great friendship between our two ancient people
That was when it happened.
will flourish once again.
Surely this time. I mean, I think that
So
there's
this guy's plan is going to go out and fight the
probably
monsters, but
like I know that like it's mostly probably like
he has no
it's
weapon.
wishful thinking, etc. But I think that there's probably
Unbelievably powerful. I knew I was no
good,
match
like,
for it.
amount of people that probably feel this way in both countries.
Does this fight have?
I want to assure the civilized world, we will not let the world's most dangerous regime get the world's most dangerous weapons. And Iran plans to give those weapons
Numb from the fight.
to its terrorist proxies. That would make the nightmare
Suddenly, he had me cornered.
all too real. The increasing
Life began flashing before my eyes. I knew I was going to die.
bring that nuclear nightmare to the cities of Europe and eventually to America. Remember, Iran calls Israel the small Satan. It calls
A human warrior leapt out of nowhere and saved me.
for decades. It's led millions in the chance of death to Israel and death
You're all right there. Leave this brute to me.
today.
Come and get it. Harr.
To those genocidal cause with action and with a call of our own. Long live Israel and long live America.
Yeah, this is 100% done to get America.
I was so afraid. I deserted the Hume who saved me. I came back alone, only to think he might skin. Hume's still out there? I don't know. I really hope he's okay. If he's going to strength that monster, I just don't know. What a bloody mess. Just wanted to help people. I think this is very noble. I'm denying that. You got to stop pushing it.
Because we're helping people that they hate. Right? Like, because I would say probably 100% of it, yeah, like all of it basically. I don't know. I mean, I don't think that, like, I mean, a lot of these questions, I don't think that, like, there's really answers to them. I'm sure
long ago, I had a good friend. He'd always blather about doing good. When I did, I led him to a meaningless death. That's what. Couldn't stand losing me another friend that way. Stray Cloud. Don't be getting any more rarer brained ideas going off alone. That's all I want to say. I'm worried about the Hume. If he's killed because I was too cowardly to help him, I'm sorry I could go back to help him. He might die if I don't. Don't make me repeat myself. Lincoln, do out there alone. Just shut the hell up. Don't worry, Bibi Netanyahu is going to rescue him. They're turning to me. I'm the worst possible option. He's been through a battle or two. That's screenshot material. You look like you've been through a battle or two. Go look for Gaboka. Get that Hume instead. Make sure he's safe.
And I think this is especially true with young people. Like, the support for Israel is
Look how look alike. They do. I'll be waiting for you. Of course, the nice reward. He gives you like a...
While Christianity is growing the fastest, soon the government will no longer represent the people. Is that really true? Like, here, remind me about that after I finish this, because I'd love to look that up.
Oh, what's going on here? Hope this chat has enough emotes. S2 refers to intelligence section or officer within a... Hang on.
Determined to avoid war at all costs.
Yeah.
And they got the worst war ever. They adopted a policy of appeasement.
Collecting, processing, and disseminating information about the enemy. Okay. Everyone has intel labeled S2 at the battalion level. The S2 underground dude definitely worked Marine intel at some point. His knowledge of fundamental concepts and terminology is solid. His longer form content mainly is intel updates. Tend to have a political bias, which he would not learn in an actual S2. Okay. Oh, so is that a channel? S2 Underground? Is that a YouTube channel? I think, is this it? You're that famous adventurer. Everybody wants my help.
Where people saying 271K? Oh, is that like the Holocaust denier number of Jews that got killed?
Okay.
Is that it? Yes, okay.
Defeat them. Bring it on. Okay. Okay. Temporary. Okay, we got...
Moses gave the people of Israel a message that has sealed their resolve ever since.
We got fire, earth, water, lightning.
Today, our strong and courageous soldiers and people stand together to defend ourselves against those who seek our destruction. And by defending ourselves, we defend many others, and we roll back a murderous tyranny. History will record that our generation stood
Garuda.
Acted in time and secured our common future.
Trial by wind.
God bless Israel. May God bless the forces of civilization.
What's the fame level for?
Thank you.
Rebeo?
Yeah, I mean, they clearly, I mean, this message is for us, right?
All right.
It's not for the people of Israel. It's for us.
That's a great point. he gave his speech in English, mentioned New Jersey. He's talking to us. Rusty, turn on the fucking news, dude. Just, I don't know what your problem is, why you can't watch Final Fantasy XI content. Wow. Top Iranian militaries are confirmed dead. That was fast.
Attacks to Iran. I want to play the video for you if you are just now joining us here on Live Now from Fox.
Yeah. Who's this guy?
It's going to set, I believe October 7th was as well. I believe the blows against Hezbollah were as well. And I think we're seeing the chess pieces moving on the board, and you're seeing the pieces laying for some big ones to come, chief among them the Ezekiel War, and much more.
We wait to see in anticipation of what happens where we are in Jerusalem.
CNN is a joke.
Never again.
Oh, Jesus.
Never again is now.
Get off my screen. Live Israel, Gaza. Like the Haifa skyline, Tel Aviv, Jerusalem Old City skyline. And there's nothing happening. It's just bright and sunny. Yeah, Bibi mentions New Jersey in his speech. New Jersey? Did I say New Jersey? New Jersey? Of a level that they have no idea how to respond. Probably.
Brad Larkin, the locomotive.
Am I gonna... Does anybody... Al Jazeera is not a serious news outfit, in my opinion. That's the enforcer. Who are you?
We'll have to wait and see for sure. But I got to say that's not really out of the picture. To say that the United States may be infuriated or enraged by this.
Can't hear anything.
Exactly like the U.S. is a very predictable kind of a country at this point, just to be entirely honest with you all, on an administrative level. So it may be that there was a thing put out like Bibi stop. And then he didn't stop, and he kept going. So now he's angry. I don't know. We'll have to see. Because it's an interesting thing. It's an interesting kind of a development that we're seeing at the moment with all these aircraft leaving. I would generally say, though, they don't really seem to be vital to the mission anymore, and also they're directly within the line of fire in Qatar and Bahrain of a possible attack still be conducted by the Iranians.
Mini Palestine and Patterson? I didn't know that.
Movement of non-critical assets out of the theater at this moment, because if there were any other situations that we're seeing where he was just pissed and he was trying to get everything out of there, we would see even more C-130s or C-17s flying out of the area, which would mostly be carrying air defense equipment and other things that would be used to defend the state of Israel or the United States from future attacks. So I would say it's probably not necessarily the case that the president is infuriated. I'll probably end up being wrong tomorrow. It's more so the case that it's just non-vital assets that are being moved out at this point. Maybe.
Could be. There's no telling. Also, now we're seeing that the
right now they are just moving.
Is saying that the Israeli attack has been carried out with the full knowledge and support.
Yeah, Rusty, where did you come up with that?
Rulers in the White House.
They hit one guy. That's confirmed.
Regime. That's hypocrisy at its finest right there. Iran literally has proxy forces that commit terrorism on the daily basis. So, it's just the typical junk we're hearing from Iran. But clearly, though, the big takeaway from that is not about their syntax. It's more about Iran is blaming the United States specifically for this, and no amount of plausible deniability that the U.S. president has tried to create is going to make Iran believe different, because Iran is convinced at this point that the U.S. was involved in it in some way or another.
Correct.
So I'm sure they will lash out at our bases. I'm pretty sure about that at this point. It's just a matter of how bad is it going to be in relation to the attacks that they're going to conduct on Israel in response to it. But right now, we just don't know.
And it does appear that the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is most likely going to be going forward with those kinds of attacks. So that's a little bit interesting. We also get to see this giant explosion inside of Iran. Look at that.
Where's this at?
I actually don't know. There was no geolocation or tabs put on this thing. And I don't want to click on the comments because, the comments can be Russian roulette for the large part. But let me... Oh, apparently it doesn't exist anymore. Apparently that was deleted. So let's see here. So yeah, that's about
That's
all we
nice.
have. Wait a minute. There's more.
Round 2 incoming then.
More RC.
Anybody with a wrench got any links to a good live stream?
Actually, a Royal Air Force RC-135.
Or have info on like
Can we pull up flight
any
radar
key
and take a look
commanders
at
or something that
Rocky
were
and
killed?
leaving? Because I think the airspace around here might be
How's
thin
my
enough, we
audio
might be able
coming
to see
through?
them
I might be
actually
a little.
leaving the area.
I can't tell.
Let's take a little gander.
All right.
I'd rather you not sell any of that. No, thank you. We'll just close. Okay, so let's move on from India, which is where we were last, and let's take a gander around here. Actually, that's very crowded airspace where these aircraft are flying.
It is kind of actually.
Oh, there's one of them right there, actually. Like, hey, look at that. I got it, like, first time. So there's one of them. This is the U.S. Air Force RC-135B private joint. This is Olive 41. This means that there are 40 olives on board, and the aircraft counts as the 41st olive. Let's see if we can find any others.
General Hossein Salami died. Bro's name was Salami. I'll have a salami and cheese.
We know that at least. It's not going to be that.
Because it started at different times, different areas, yeah.
Is it going to be this one? No. It's going to be this one. No. Well, where the hell are they? I found one. Haven't really had any luck with the others. Maybe they've moved farther on westwards at this point. It's a cargo Lux. A lot of cargo aircraft. Only finding the one. Only finding the one at this moment. So, what about this? What about this?
There's Rabeo. Gotta find Rabeo.
An A340, no less. That's actually a little unique. I'd be dipped, man. I don't really.
What the fuck is happening here?
Quite easily, really. Because I can only find the one, and we know that none of them are flying east, so looking at those are pointless.
Well, it's a garrison. That's pretty cool.
It appears that we only have this one, Olive 41. Do they have other? Oh, they actually have multiple pictures of the same aircraft. Man, look at that. You know, I remember.
Also, by the way, we've got some big breaking news right this second. We just got word that Iran's Arak heavy water nuclear reactor has been targeted.
Oh no!
Actually, and let's see, Arak. Where is that on the map? That's right there. So that's like to the west of Natanz, actually. Apparently, the reactor itself was hit and targeted. We're not.
We just hit on our reactor in Iran.
But that happened just moments ago. So apparently. Do we have like an on-the-ground view or pictures like showing that facility? Because I'd be curious to see what that looks like. I'm not familiar with it.
It's probably not close to Iraq, but we can look around for it because we have the time at this point, folks. Like to look around a little bit. Like the intensity of the attacks is. I'd be dipped, man. I don't really think we'll be able to find these things quite easily, really, because I can only find the one, and we know that none of them are flying east. So looking at those are pointless.
Let's see. What did they say?
It appears that we only have this one, Olive 41. Do they have other? Oh, they actually have multiple pictures of the same aircraft. Man, look at that. You know, I remember.
Also, by the way, we've got some big breaking news right this second. We just got word that Iran's Arak heavy water nuclear reactor has been targeted directly, actually.
Iran's Iraq.
Where is that
what?
on the map? That's right there. So that's like to the west of Natanz. Let's see, Arak. Where is that on the map? That's right. Been targeted.
Oh, Arak. A-R-A-K.
Let's see, Arak. Where is that on the map? That's right there. So that's like to the west of Natanz, actually. Apparently, the reactor itself was hit and targeted. We're not told what the aftermath looks like, but that happened just moments ago. So apparently, do we have like an on-the-ground view or pictures like showing that facility? Because I'd be curious to see what that looks like. I'm not familiar with it.
It's probably not close to Iraq, but we can look around for it because we have the time at this point, folks. Like to look around a little bit, like the
the Chinese Communist Party. They consider
we're still waiting for the
like the war against Japan. They consider that starting in 1931 when they took Manchuria.
The Israelis hit Baghdad, Iraq, and then they hit Iraq, Iran. Like honestly, that just sounds stupid. Let's go take a look to see if we can find this research reactor out here somewhere. Let's see. Let's see here. It's going to be a facility, most likely not in the city.
What are you talking about, Rusty? This is horrible. Why are you excited about this?
I think we're not shooting bad odds to just travel up and down the roads until we.
What is their points about?
There's an industrial park.
If you voted for Trump, you
So I haven't seen it yet.
like anybody. I'm not gonna say shame on you, but I think.
There's a oil refinery, and I'm not really seeing.
How the fuck do you get to Raboa?
Yeah, let me go pull up the.
I don't even know what I think right now. This is bad.
Let's see if we can get
The U.S. was going to be talking to the Iranians tomorrow, like in-person meetings.
Let's see. Wow. Do we have any coordinates for this thing?
Wait a minute. Hold on. What?
A street address would be appreciated.
Where the fuck is the? Where am I?
A location near Iraq.
Maybe that guy knows. I'm in eastern Al Tepid Desert.
Okay, so let's see. Let me go to images. Maybe there's a. That's what it looks like from space.
Eastern Al Tepid Desert.
Interesting. So it's a pretty decently sized.
Oh, I will.
Actually, I think the shocking part to me is it's apparently, to my knowledge, it's an active nuclear reactor that was apparently targeted. But we're not told what the aftermath looks like, because obviously when you hit a nuclear
am I in Western?
you're always concerned about radiation leakage.
Oh, I'm in Western Al Tepid.
I'm not sure exactly what we're looking at here.
No, they hit a nuclear reactor.
Consequences of that, but. You know, what are we looking at, Enforcer? What do you think? Like an actual radiation, a severe radiation leak, or what are we looking at?
Okay, the little thing up there.
It's not really a normal reactor. It's like a heavy water reactor. So it's really more so producing a usable component in nuclearization. It's not really something that is like a nuclear power production facility.
The U.S., we don't have geographical superiority anymore. The age of intercontinental missiles, hypersonic missiles.
Was reaching its design have been developed by this. The reactor was going to be. Let's see here.
Also, by the way, it looks like we have some coordinates from a member of the audience. By the way, let's see here. I got some coordinates from. Well, how come I can't find it now? This tagged me in it. Oh, TG Butter. He put in the latitude and longitude. So
how far away from conflict we are soon. I don't think the Iranians can shoot anything at us. Like unless like Iran and North Korea join forces and China jumps in and Russia jumps in on their side. I don't know. If China takes Taiwan, it's going to be within this calendar year. They're going to see how fucked up the U.S. is right now. We're bogged down in Ukraine and Israel and the stuff in Israel. What else?
That's a neighborhood.
Actually, that's like the geographical center of Iraq. So that doesn't like unfortunately those kinds of coordinates don't really help out.
Blame New Jersey.
Specific, and also written in a certain way so that way Google can actually read it and then take us to where the location.
No, you're right, Rusty. So, these people that are pro-Palestine, they're getting more and more violent. They got that psycho out in Colorado, the idiot who shot the embassy workers.
Where is this?
Oh, is that it? That is it.
Yeah, it actually is it. It's way out here. Like, this is what's misleading about these things, is that it says it's around Iraq. So we look in like a perimeter around Iraq about this big. That's what I do with everything. And then it's way off over here in the middle of nowhere. But this actually is it. So a big thanks to everyone for suggesting to just do that. That seems to be the simplest thing we could have done. But this is actually the Iraq heavy water production facility. We'd actually see the reactor dome right there. So apparently from what I'm reading, because I don't really know a lot about heavy water reactors, apparently this is a reactor that was supposed to be operated just using natural uranium, meaning that it doesn't require enrichment to produce any.
That doesn't mean anything, Rusty.
So that's a little interesting.
China can target them. When and if China goes for Taiwan, they're probably going to target U.S. military assets at sea, Guam, American Samoa, Philippines, Japan, and South Korea.
It's a very interesting kind of a thing. I don't really know a lot about nuclear science.
They're going to attack our nearby things and go for it.
A potential radiation leak if it is hit directly, but it's just not clear exactly what was hit. Like, did Israel hit the reactor itself? Because the reactor is obviously well fortified, because that's just the way they build nuclear reactors. So that could be very concerning, depending on what happened with it. We're just not sure yet.
It could be concerning, but considering that it's not using any kind of enriched uranium fuel, it's likely that, considering that it's almost just using like raw uranium ore, that it might not really have that much of a radiological consequence to it, at least from what I know. Because usually it's the
it's a cactar
fuel, that produces in insanely high amounts of radiation, especially when they melt down. So maybe it's not going to be that bad of a thing. And also, this is deep inside of Iran. I mean, this is quite literally inside of almost central Iran within this general area here. So if there was any sort of radioactive fallout, it's most likely just going to affect Iran instead of any of the surrounding countries. It'll probably
I
just
really
be the
should
Iranians.
be careful.
We'll see.
Also, by the way, remember earlier we reported that, let's see, I think it was Eli David, I believe, on Twitter, reported that the IAEA said that there was apparently some severe damage at Natanz. According to what we're hearing now, the Natanz nuclear reactor itself is severely damaged, according to Iran's Atomic Energy Organization, which is obviously a different agency there. But they're saying that apparently the most critical nuclear reactor in the country is severely damaged. They're still trying to assess the damage to it, but severely damaged, meaning that there could be a leak or a containment issue with the reactor itself. So that's very serious. Let's see, the AEIO or the AEOI. It's one of those atomic agencies. Yeah, it's some of the plural noun agency or whatever. They confirmed that Natanz in central Iran did suffer major damage as a result of the strike. So Natanz is in severe trouble. Let's just put it that way. And we don't know the extent of the damage just yet.
Taiwan was never straight.
Any radiation leakage out of it either.
So, as we have it right now, there's been a research reactor hit inside of Iraq. The reactor at Natanz has also been hit and heavily damaged.
Oh, good. 2 nuclear reactors shot at. Perfect.
It appears that it's just been a bad day for Iran. It appears that they actually did not protect any of their nuclear facilities, and pretty much all of them have ended up getting hit. As they said, Old MacDonald had a nuke, E-I-E-I-O, and then that was the Aeoli, which is
it's the Beach Boys. Bomb, 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 bomb. Iran.
Really fun name. Like to talk about it.
Oh my God. What are we doing?
Sounds like we're actually getting some real reports now. What do we have?
What do we got?
Also, we got something else here. We just learned that Israel's government plane, known as Zion Wing, has taken off from Ben Gurion International Airport out of Israel. And that's a government Israeli plane, by the way. It's taken off and is heading out into the sea. And the aircraft did the same thing before the Iranian attacks in April and October of last year. So they're apparently expecting a very massive attack.
Rusty, I think they're nuclear.
It's coming very soon. And now the government plane is taking some of the officials out of the area as a result of that. So that's pretty.
Like, isn't that water reactors for cooling of nuclear material?
And this also did happen, and we can corroborate that before the Iranian attacks in April and October as well, showing that there is most likely going to be a massive Iranian response because of the attack that the Israelis have conducted against Iran.
All right, Rabeo G9.
The attacks are going to be lasting for about another 2 hours or so at this point by the Israelis, at least according to their own statements. So we're going to be trying to stay on air and see
Why do I have
these
1 MP?
waves do materialize and what they end up hitting. Because it seems as though this last attack was hitting air defense targets throughout the area, pretty much softening up the Iranian airspace for the next following days and attacks that are going to be occurring throughout the country. So we'll be waiting to see how these remainder of the major attacks that we already know are coming at this point are going to be going. And also, it appears that we have something going on in Subashi in Iran as well. We can see. Well, you can actually see right here, that is legitimately just a radar facility. You can actually see the radar dish right up there.
Before the refining process.
For sure. So let's go to Shubashi.
So uranium, nuclear.
Which is like a ripoff of Mitsubishi. And this is apparently in the Hamadan province. And
Hamadan. Sandwich with salami they just killed.
They got hit pretty bad. So let us go to where this is.
It's nuclear. It's a reactor.
Map here. So this is north of Hamidan. So let's go find Hamidan, and there's Hamidan.
Right, hold on to your ass, everybody.
Because it's not really showing. Okay.
If you need insurance, talk to Nishi. And I'm not kidding.
Damn. Like, where is it? We're just gonna put it here. We'll put it roughly around here. Air defense site hit. We'll mark that as an air defense site that's been hit. So there we go. Big thanks to all the people on the ground in Iran who are literally publishing OPSEC violations like it's no tomorrow.
Alright,
so
turning
easy
fork
for
of
us to
wind.
actually figure out everything that's happening inside their own
Alright.
But anyways, it does appear that
Alright.
someone's got their little
Ramu,
fame, and we got
Garuda,
ourselves
Leviathan,
so,
Titan, Ifrit.
hey, I like it. You know, it's kind of a mutual thing. We also get to see more videos from Tehran. Take a gander at this. That's Salami calling for help.
Salami calling for.
He doesn't really sound that cheery though over the intercom this morning. Like he doesn't really.
That thing you heard was the morning call to prayer that like Muslim countries have. They blare on loudspeakers.
having a small.
That's Salami calling for help. Salami needs help, guys.
So apparently now the Iranian Atomic Energy Chief is confirming.
Salami's looking for provolone and a Kaiser roll. Oh my god.
It hasn't just been heavily damaged, it's been completely destroyed by the Israeli airstrikes. So now we're going to be putting that down as our update.
Wow.
The most important nuclear research facility in the whole country has officially been destroyed, according to the Iranians at this moment right now. So Natanz has been destroyed as a facility. At least according to their own official reports, if we were to take those at face value.
Iran is so fucking dumb.
By the way, throughout the show, because we have been absolutely going throttle to the wall, or balls to the wall, as they put it, for about 3 hours.
I gotta get.
11 minutes at this point, and a lot of this news
Speaking of Zion, this guy's name is Zion Burger.
Doing it, but the problem is that if I go to the home on Twitter and we're both looking for it, it actually cancels out, and we don't see anything on either end. So he's the one who's been finding all the news tonight. But it does appear that the Natanz nuclear facility has been completely destroyed.
Oh, great.
According to the reports by their own.
Nothing like leaky nuclear material. And who's to say ISIS and rogue elements can't seize nuclear material from these plants and do something with it?
Near to Iraq, the IR-40 may have also been hit and destroyed as well. And we have also heard that there were explosions that were coming around the area of Fordo, but we have not been able to confirm exactly how much damage has occurred at that enrichment facility either. So we are still waiting for some more information on that at the moment, but we can confirm that these are all the major impacts.
Oh, I gotta do fucking Sandoria fame. Okay. My god.
And we've also been able to confirm smaller impact sites around
He posted what? What do you mean no?
The city of Karashirin, and also the city of let's see here. Actually, let me make it further.
CIA analysts who leaked Israel strike plan sentenced to 3 years. Oh, great.
As well, which it was already listed on that map right there. So we were able to confirm some other secondary attacks.
He posted what?
At this moment, and it does seem as though the damage has been critical, and it may seem that the Iranian nuclear program has actually been stopped dead in its tracks by a single 3-hour stint of Israeli air attacks.
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know what you're talking about.
Now looking at the Israelis literally dismantling the Iranian nuclear program in about 4 hours.
Look, these Muslims, you know, I'm sure radioactive material never get caught up in the jet streams circling the planet.
Yeah, I just wonder why. Like, I guess it could have gone wrong. They could have been unsuccessful. I guess they could have been. But, you know, when you plan an operation to a degree like Israel's doing, that obviously does go up dramatically. But I guess it just takes balls, I guess you could say. Sometimes bad decisions, or not bad decisions, but hard decisions take balls. And if
listen, these cave people, these you know, Taliban, Al-Qaeda types, ISIS, they're not the brightest bulbs in the box. They shoot missiles and guns at Buddhist statues out in the Middle East, and they lose every time.
They've taken out a humongous portion of the nuclear facilities inside of Iran, and that will stop them from developing a nuke. So I would say bravo to Israel. But now the big thing is, now they're going to have to deal with the aftermath of it, which is not going to be easy. And that's going to be the
You think so, Kustos? Just do the bat wings?
All their proxies are going to be coming into Israel like they've never come out of.
Yeah, well, I told myself I got to do my Sandoria fame one of these days. I'm pretty weak over there.
And I believe they will, but I hope,
and
I sincerely hope that the U.S. is going to be behind them all the way, because
it sucks.
Step away now and tell Israel, okay.
Or you can do the corn, cabbage, and the moss in Selbina. That gets you fame in Bastock and Sandoria and Juneau.
Right now, I just don't know. I can't really make a prediction either way. I would assume we're going to support Israel.
Rusty.
I'm a little bit on the fence.
And so
everything you just heard is what they did.
Are going to hopefully see that the United States does the right thing instead of the wrong thing.
And making enough heavy water for a bomb that was getting.
The right thing and will be strong. But beyond that,
Ross, a lake in Norway, planted a bomb in it and sank it to the bottom of the lake.
Bear with us, bear with us, man. We've been at this for 3 hours and 15 minutes straight. This is literally the longest news segment, uninterrupted news segment.
I gotta go to bed soon.
In channel history, no joke. There's never been one.
I'm gonna get in trouble
as long as this, because we haven't even had a question segment or anything in the meantime. It's all been polls and news and videos. So if you're asking where the videos are, man, this is the most video-rich night we've ever had. Honestly, this is actually the biggest.
No, they didn't. Not everything's connected to it. Not everything's a reference. Not everything's a connection or a callback or a, you know, an Easter egg to a prior thing that happened.
Nuclearized by force in the front of your very eyes. Something like this doesn't happen often. In fact, it rarely ever happens at all in world history. I think this may be one of the first times it has happened. So this is actually a majorly historical night, more so than really any other that we've seen so far in the 21st century, including the beginning of the war in Ukraine. I mean, the war in Ukraine is a conventional war. There have been a dime a dozen conventional wars. But as far as a country forcefully being denuclearized through precision airstrikes and also having a lot of their military staff killed in a single few hours, this is actually something that has just never before been seen in history, really, at least in our time.
Oh my God. Okay, you're not going to believe
All right.
this.
What?
Kustos, I need your expertise.
So we've gotten
The heavy water stuff.
from
Those are
Fox
related to
News.
nuclear
This is an
sites, right?
insider paper on Twitter, by the way. I'm going to try to get corroboration to see if I can back this information up. This is a statement that we're hearing right now. President Trump was aware of the strikes beforehand that Israel was going to conduct.
Of course he was.
There were no surprises, but the U.S. was not involved militarily in hopes Iran will return to the negotiating.
Little stream on the other side. All right, Kustos, if you're heading out, take it easy.
Back that up because that is crazy. That is crazy.
Yeah,
like,
they are nuclear
so
sites.
Left field. Like I don't even know how to process that.
We're still shooting for the Nobel Peace Prize, man. They might not be able to even have a nuke anymore, but we're gonna talk to them about it.
Okay, I don't give a fuck. They might not be making bombs there, enriching uranium, but they're nuclear related. It's all connected. Some of it might just be for nuclear power, but it's related to nuclear. I'm not saying these are all nuclear sites where they're building bombs, enriching uranium, and blah, 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 blah. The nuclear related, nuclear adjacent. Everyone is saying that.
Find some backup information to this. Israel just neutered Iran, their nuclear capabilities. What the hell is Iran showing up to negotiate? Like, I've got to pull that up. Like, seriously, I'm going to make sure that's not fake news for a minute and make sure that's real, because if it is real, that's, I don't know how to even interpret that.
Indigested meat away from me.
They got to have something about this, right? I mean, like, this is like one of the biggest stories of the night, I'd assume.
Turned in my eco warrior.
Let's see. Yes,
Might be the most productive night I've had on Horizon in a very long time.
Let's see here.
Except the whole Sandoria thing.
Fox News' Brett Baer in the post.
Oh, that sucks.
So, you know, it would be a story from his show.
Someone's got to go look on
Jesus Christ, dude.
Like,
yeah, can somebody let us know? Somebody let us know that, please, because I can't really like find it right now, and I'm too like caught up trying to look at the breaking news right now. But someone let us know, because I'm like on the fence. Is that fake news or not? Because that's almost like so unbelievable. I almost can refuse to believe it. I just need to know if that was actually said or not.
Heavy water is a water molecule with a hydrogen atom in the bond with an extra neutron.
Honestly, part of me says that this is so absurd and stupid. There's a much stronger word I want to use for that. But this is so absurd and stupid. There's no way in hell that he actually said that. But at the same time, there's a small part of me that says he probably did. And I don't really know which one to believe right now. Because if this was actually what we said, this is the most stupid, brain-dead kind of foreign policy decision-making I've ever seen.
Israel said mulling attacks on Iran oil fields.
Like, you know,
nuclear sites in response.
Like, they can't even make one. Instead, our answer is possibly to come back to the negotiating table and try it again. So I don't really know what's up with that. I'm getting a huge kick out of that because I just can't really understand the even sense behind it. But you know, it is what it is, I guess. You know, we'll just we'll see.
Yeah.
And also
because it's nuclear.
Trolling on an international foreign policy level, highly unlikely. Trolling isn't something you do on a foreign policy level. So you know, it's
Well, Kustos, thanks for the information you did provide. I appreciate talking to you.
Website right now. So if that was said, it must have been said maybe live on the air or something. I don't have
Turn this down a bit
on my TV because I don't like have a subscription to cable. But maybe if somebody's watching Fox, they can let us know if they heard that being said. But that's what we're being told on Twitter, and the source where I got that from is usually pretty reliable. So I would be shocked if they put out something.
Yeah,
fake.
this is.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, yeah, we'll have to wait, I guess. But
pretty bad.
You know, that'll be interesting. We'll have to just wait and see. But anyways, with that, it is time for us. And now that we're seeing that there's generally a slowing down of the whole military operation by the Israelis, I'd have to say, Matthew, that considering that we've been on air for 3 hours and 20 minutes straight covering this, it seems to be that this is largely starting to roll and slow down a little bit. So I think that we have some time to take a little bit of a breather here.
Only going to get worse.
With all all the folks who've been throwing in some support and the folks who are just throwing in live chats for a minute. And on top of that, we've also asked y'all about whether or not the Israelis are going to be greasing Khamenei tomorrow. So, Matthew, what are people thinking about that, and what are you thinking about?
Let's see, yeah. Top Iranian military leaders are confirmed dead. Are they still live? No, they're not. Okay. What is this?
We've gotten in these images of the moments that those attacks were. According to state television, a reporter
Yeah, targets nuclear facilities.
able to get close due to the intensity of the fire, but multiple sites in the capital.
The N-word, hard R, nuclear. Megs, am I right or am I right? They targeted nuclear facilities, heavy water, blah, 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 blah. Tomato, tomato, those are nuclear sites, correct?
As the sun is beginning to rise, you can see the damage that has been done there into this city. So to talk
I'm going for kebabs and asking Muslim chaps what they think. I like your use of chaps.
As well as with the FDD, Tro Truzman. Joe, thanks so much for being with us here on Live Now.
Yes. Okay, Nishi gets it. There you go. Rusty telling me no.
Some of these ins and outs of things that have happened there in the Middle East.
Then I'm going to work on getting my Jewish buds out there. Let me know how that goes.
As you heard this news hit the airwaves.
Oh. All right, everyone. I'm going to call it a night for real. Annoying, I don't have enough Sandoria fame. I thought I had that, but we'll work on that. Where are you going? You're not going anywhere. Okay. All right, I'm going to close that down. 31 views. Pretty good. Hit the like button on your way out, please. I only have 2 likes. Oh my god. I just don't know why you gotta like... I'm not getting into it. I only have 2 likes. Can you guys please hit the like button? Please, please, please. It certainly helps. Coming up on a major milestone. If we're all still here in the next few days, hopefully we're not caught up in a global nuclear war. Just watch the news, people. Stay informed. Don't just make up conclusions. Rusty, nobody's saying that. I'm not saying it's like a nuclear site. I know it's not the same as like a nuclear site like Chernobyl is. But it's still nuclear related, nuclear adjacent, blah, blah, blah. You can't play stalk. Well, feel free to stalk away. All right, everyone, I'm going to leave it there. Cake and ice cream for stream party. I'll do that when I hit the monetized thing. I'll have a big show or something. We could talk about it. Put ideas in the Discord what I should do when I'm monetized. You guys can I'll leave it up to you. I'll leave it up to the people. All right, everyone. Watch the news. You can watch the news. I'll put on the news. I'll put the news on my screen while we stream. While I do what I do. I would attend that Nishi party. Well, there you go. It's got to be some Wisconsin dairy ice cream that I really shouldn't be eating, but I'll eat anyway. All right, everyone. I'll leave it there. Have a great night. Keep your head above water. It's not the end of the world, but just stay informed. Watch the news. Read the newspaper. Just know what's happening. Anime movie night. We'll work on it. But yeah. Catch everyone next time. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great night. Bye-bye.